Tio, can you explain up? You were doing a good job before the show talking about the chain from radio through antenna, when
Yeah.
with the tuner and the amplifier and SWR power meter and all that rigmarole.
Yeah, so if you have an amplifier, you're going to want to have your SWR meter at the very far end. So antenna, SWR meter, then amp. If you have that set up, if you have a tuner, you want the tuner on the other side of the amplifier also. So it would be from your radio side, radio into amplifier, into tuner, into SWR meter, into antenna.
And that's a topic that confuses people quite a bit. And in some cases, I've seen where
I have
people
to
will
think
have
about it.
they'll have radio, power SWR meter, tuner, power SWR meter, so that way they can see their SWR on either side of
Yep.
the tuner. But you introduce insertion loss with each one of those things, right?
Is it
Tio,
all?
they're asking you to do a little bit more of a deeper dive on your explanation there.
God,
On
I
this
wonder if there's an
explanation?
explanation we can.
That's the
show.
one. That's the one.
If only you were
Yeah.
clearer.
I did a video on this because I had a MFJ tuner that I ran with my amp. So your radio needs to talk to the amplifier directly, and if you were to put the tuner between the radio and the amp, you would be tuning the connection from the radio to the amp, and the antenna is still on the far side of the amplifier and is not getting the benefit of that tuner. So, that's why you want to have the tuner on the far side of the amp so that the tuner tunes the antenna. Your radio and your amp, if they're both good quality, and they should be, should have 50 ohm match by design in the first place. So you shouldn't need to have any tuner between the radio and the amp.
And then you were also talking before the show about the bypass mode in the tuner, right? If you,
Yeah.
I mean, in
So
the
what you
amp.
want to do, yeah, what you want to do is if you're actually going to do a tuning cycle with an amplifier, put the amplifier into bypass mode and then run a tuning cycle with, put a signal out from the radio, hit the tuner, the auto tuner to get it to automatically tune. You don't want to be tuning at 1500 watts. That's going to be very painful for it's a lot of work. So after you get that match, then release the key on the radio to stop transmitting, put the amp into operation mode, and then go back to work.
That
Hank
way
and
you use the
Gary are
same
saying
winder.
the same thing here, and they're both very smart individuals, and I would definitely trust their information. But this is kind of what Ape was saying. Where you place your SWR meter is kind of up to you. Do you want to know that your tuner? I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining. Do you want to know that your tuner did a good job and found you a match, or do you want to know that your SWR is, good before your tuner and don't know what it is after your tuner? So, like Ape said, some people put two SWR meters on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I can see what Hank's saying if you wanted to monitor the SWR coming into your amp, right? Because the challenge that you have there is that if you have too high of an SWR coming into the amp, it can be problematic.